Today we're going to show you two very special custom tailors that are a little bit different than what you might expect from a custom program. We're focusing on tone here. Stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee.
I'm Cooper Greenberg.
We're here with Alamo Music in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos. If you want to support the channel, visit our spring store link below for custom swag and check out our podcast, the Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcasts at. And yes, it is back on Apple Podcasts. I talked to the nice people at Apple. I didn't really. It was a bunch of emails back and forth, but I finally got it working.
Did you go to the Genius Bar?
I didn't go to the Genius Bar. I feel like when I walk in the Apple store, I'm kind of like, what's his name, Ron? You know, just like, I know more than you. So.
Do you ever see that South Park where the geniuses perform the Toron Ra?
I did have seen that.
That's what I'm talking about.
So today we've got some kind of different custom tailors, what you're probably used to seeing when we show you a custom tailor, something that's kind of all blinged out with, you know, craziness everywhere and a really high price tag to match. This is something a little bit different. Taylor is rolling out a new kind of custom program for select dealers. And it allows us to go in and spec some stuff out and do some really cool things. In this particular case, we have done a Addy-topped guitar in two different varieties that, to me, harkens back on something Taylor did in the early 2000s, which I thought was a very cool thing and really kind of helped usher in a lot of changes there. Do you remember or have you experienced some of the acoustic guitars that they did? So, you know, in retrospect, it was kind of weird the way they approached this, and they ended up unrolling it all. But I appreciate the idea. So if you're a Taylor fan, you might remember in the early 2000s, they kind of divided the line, and you had acoustic and you had acoustic electric. And the acoustic electric, well, they look like the guitars that we're used to today. Cutaway, electronics, the inlays and stuff that go with certain series and so forth. And on the acoustic side, it separated from that. The appointments were very simple. They didn't come with electronics or cutaways by default. And it was a focus on the tonewood combinations and the bracing. And it was part of a change of the bracing that was going through. Now, everything's V-class, but some of those changes still exist in the V-class, like the relief route that they introduced. And what eventually they found was people were buying the acoustic and then adding pickups on there and just going with like the simpler appointments because the tone was better for an acoustic instrument. Yeah. And you know, at some point someone went, we should just make all of our guitars like this. And so that's what they did, and the acoustics went away, and the changes got introduced to the rest of the lineup, and Bob's your uncle. Or maybe he's not, but he did.
Bob's your tailor.
Begin tailored guitars. So this is kind of in that vein.
Yeah, and these really, it's all about getting the options that you actually want, that I think people most commonly ask for when they want to, you know, customize or just adjust the specs of a Taylor guitar in a little easier way. Obviously, there's standard model options that we've talked about a lot on the channel. Chris did a video not too long ago of a cedar top 324. Should be a 314. Soft wood, whatever. We're just going with it. Nothing makes sense anymore. It's 2024.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria. So I think, one, a lot of people like Adirondack.
Yep.
And a lot of people like Adirondack on a simple guitar that doesn't have to be like a full-on crazy custom, pick every single thing. I think, and I've been a long proponent of the fact that a lot of Sitka-top guitars should just have like an Addy option from Taylor, from Martin, from Gibson, from whoever. And there's Adirondack currently in Taylor's lineup on the 814 Builder's Edition. But you know, you're getting a Builder's Edition guitar with some extra stuff on it, and also it's 4-piece Adirondack, which we talked about, and that's totally cool. But these are 2-piece Adirondack top, 314 and 414, and that's what you're getting. It's simple. I think it's all about the tone of the guitar. One other thing that I like about this 314, the Mahogany, is that it's mahogany.
Yeah.
It's not sapele back and sides, which you'd find on a standard. Sapele is totally cool. It's a great wood, you know, but this is Adirondack Spruce and mahogany. That is Adirondack Spruce and East Indian Rosewood. Simple, they look clean, they sound really good, And I think it's the type of custom that a lot of people really want when they're like, I just want to spruce up my guitar a little bit.
Well, the common request comes in, can I get this model of guitar with this? And usually the answer is no. So just to clarify what Cooper was talking about and how it works, standard model options are still a thing, and the options that are available vary by series. So you kind of start with some options here, and as you go up in series, there's a few more options that are available. And some of those options are like you can change, like have a burst, or not have a burst, change nut width, that kind of thing. And in the case of that other video we did, everything else was the same, finish was the same, all that stuff, but we changed the top wood. Cedar's been an option in standard model options, and so that's kind of how that comes out. But most of the time, the question that comes up is, when does it become custom? And it becomes custom when you are fundamentally changing something, usually visual, with the guitar. So if you're like, oh, I want this guitar, but I want to change the binding, custom. I like that guitar, but I want to change the inlay, custom.
Add an armrest.
Add an armrest, change the back and side wood, all that stuff that immediately turns it custom. And the custom program has been forever a la carte. So you're just picking through a menu. The goal here is we're starting with where most people start, with a series or with a guitar in mind, and then changing things through a custom program. And so it streamlines things a bit. So what we have in this case are two very simply appointed 400, 300 series. Like you said, we've changed the top wood, we've changed the back and side wood. We've gone with simple aesthetics to highlight what's going on tonewood-wise. Same thing over here, rosewood, Adirondack, to bring out an option that, like you said, is not available. I can't even keep track of pricing anymore. How close to $6,000 is a Builder's Edition 814C now?
It's pretty close.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
And
high
so
$4,000 with tax, you're looking at $5,000, a little over $5,000.
Yeah.
Like that.
So this allows you to have these wood pairings and really get into what I think is, if you think back on the history of flat top steel string acoustic guitars, it started with Martin, right? And all of those guitars that we think of from the golden era, they were all Adirondack topped guitars until Addy was gone, and now it's back. And so it's cool to kind of restore it and focus on the tone that these guitars have, and they sound really good.
Yeah. Let's take a listen.
All right, so there you have it. The musical stylings of Cooper Greenberg now on Addy. So,
Adderall.
addicted to Addy, we are. You know, it's funny. These are the second pair of acoustics we've played today with Addy, and they sound stellar. And they have a really nice response to them.
Really nice. I mean, so I was thinking about it, and you can think of these in a couple different ways. One, you could say, yeah, that's 314, this is 414, just Adirondack top. I think a better way to think of them is we customized, very simply appointed Addy mahogany, Addy rosewood. In the background, we've been calling that Mahogarondack and this the Adder rosewood. But one of my biggest gripes with Taylor's current lineup that I've mentioned all the time is there's no real spruce mahogany. There's no
Right.
And there's no cedar mahogany.
Because when they changed the 500 series,
500
it went away.
series, you got the iron bark. And so part of this came from, as they kind of expand their custom offerings, JR just told us, like, think of something cool that you like that you think is missing and we'll build it. And so we can go back to the factory, which we will before too long, and pick out Crazy Flame Koa and Myrtle Wood and Bacote and all the fun stuff. But at the end of the day, I do think that there needs to be a simple option of spruce and mahogany, if it can be Adirondack and mahogany,
Right.
and just simple two-piece Adirondack top and rosewood back and sides without a bunch of flash, which a lot of people like, but then a lot of people too that I talk to say, well, I don't need all the contours and the armrests, and
Right.
It's like total 50-50. Some people love it, and that's why they're going for an 814 builders. Other people are like, I just want an Addy and rosewood guitar. So this is that option. That's the mahogany option. And I think that, I expect, based on how they sound to me and how they sound to us, people are going to dig the sound and say, okay, well, we can get something simple from Taylor that just sounds really good and looks clean, and it's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
And, so the question then becomes price. Like, the whole exercise of this is, can you do something and make some of these changes aligned with the series and, try to keep the pricing down? As is the case with any custom program, you can spec something out, to the moon. Trust me, we've done it with some online builders before for fun. I'm sure you probably have too.
Yeah.
In this particular case, you're adding a few $100s rather than a few $1,000s to the price of what, like, the normal version of these would be. And from a tonewood standpoint, this is a huge upgrade. So this one clocks in around $3,400. That one's around $4,000, which is a few $100s more than their non-custom normal counterparts. So pretty cool stuff. These are killer guitars, but we also have access to building stuff with this, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, so what I would say is, you may like both these guitars. We just got one of each just to show them off and kind of introduce what can be done. But when you talk to us, just tell us exactly what you want, and we will help you find the best route, because it may be just a quick standard model option. I just want a 314 with a cedar top. It's like, okay, that's easy.
Yeah.
It's a very small upcharge, and it just costs the time it takes to make it, really. There may be something in between that's a larger kind of wood change or binding change, whatever, that can be done within the confines of this. And then if you want to pick your master grade Koa, then we can talk about that as well. But good thing is Taylor is giving us more options to better find the best route for a player to just tell us exactly what you want. And it may just be something that exists already.
Yeah.
But it could be, there's more available to us now to find you the right guitar.
Absolutely. So if you want information about these two, you can go to our website, which is
alamomusic.com.
Very good. And you can check out all of the specifications. You can buy these online. You can work with one of our sales associates. But if you have questions about building, there's a box where you can chat with us on the website. And we can walk you through all the steps. Of course, you can always come in or call or email, however, but we can walk you through the process. It's always fun when I don't remember how long ago it was, we did that first kind of standard model option video. And it really was like opening the floodworks, because people just didn't know what was available. We know what's out there. So again, if you're wanting to try something, give us a call. And I actually had something like this pretty recently where it was like, well, this program actually doesn't suit the needs of this particular customer. So we're still going custom.
Yeah.
Like full on custom. And it's cool. We can navigate all that too. So check out the website and reach out to us, and we can make those custom guitar dreams come true. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe, you turn on notifications, you like our videos. Keep coming back for more. We'll see you next time.